All right, good evening, everyone. This is Ajit Mishra from Religare Research, and we are back with yet another session of Week Ahead with Religare Technicals. So, as most of you know, that in this webinar, we talk about the market performance, how the market performed this week. Then we cover the expected movement of the key indices, both Nifty and the banking index, followed by some of these stocks which are looking bullish or bearish, means stocks which are strong based on the technical charts, and some of the counters which are looking weak based on the technical parameters, followed by a small poll and then Q&A session. So let's get started. So a quick disclaimer before that, the premise behind this webinar is to share the insight, basically what we are observing based on the technical charts and other parameters. And it's not a trading or an investment recommendation. So before making any decision based on the insights shared during the webinar, please take help from your financial advisor. Now, fourth successive week of consolidation when it comes to the key indices, both Nifty and Sensex hovered in a narrow range, ended with a cut of with the gains of nearly 0.5%. Mixed trend on the sectoral front also. IT, energy, banking, and reality, they managed to end in the green. Marginal gains, if you exclude the top two, means banking was almost flat in line with the Nifty index. Then IT and energy, basically that capped the damage during the week. Media continued to reel under pressure. Then we had auto, metals, pharma, and financial services, which ended in the red. Talking about stock specific performance, basically that's the area which kept the traders alive. Otherwise, when it comes to the index, it was very difficult to trade, considering that we are seeing intraday excessive volatility, then gap up, gap down throughout the week. So on the stock specific front, you can see the list of top gainers led by Coal India. Then we have L&T, Power Grid, TechM, and SDFC Bank. So across sectors, we saw the participation when it comes to the Nifty 50 basket. And similarly, on the negative side, Adani Enterprise, Bajaj Finserv, third successive week of decline for both Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance. And then we have Asian Paint, JSW Steel, and Nestle. So when it comes to the market overall move, while the benchmark remained the consolidation, the stock specific volatility continued to remain high, thanks to the earnings season, thanks to the global clues, which is giving us the opportunity to trade. Otherwise, a very lackluster session, I would say, a lackluster week that Nifty ended in. Now coming to the key indices, first we'll talk about Nifty. So as you can see, this candle, we call it doji, based on the technical parameters. So that indicates indecisiveness. So similar to the previous week, this week also we saw that Nifty ended with the indecisive tone with marginal gains, as we all know. So positive part that we are holding 17,800 mark, this faded yellow line that you can see on the chart, weekly chart, that is 20 days of exponential moving average. So we are somehow managing this despite of all the positive negatives, means mixed clues, erratic swings across sectors. So we are somehow managing this level when it comes to the key indices. But when it comes to the recovery part, that is also capped, considering that we have multiple hurdles around 18,000 to 350 mark. Of late, we have breached the immediate hurdle of 20 EMA that was placed around 18,100 mark, but we couldn't sustain, because in the last two trading sessions, we are seeing that the global markets are inching lower. So that is basically adding to the pressure, plus the participation when it comes to the broader participation in the market, that is also absent, because if you exclude like five, maybe six names, from the index majors list, now at least we are not seeing this similar kind of attraction which we were seeing earlier. So HDFC Twins, L&T, like cements, some of these counters from the other sectors like HUL. In between, we saw some rebound. So all these key index measures basically which were helping the market to hold. So in such a scenario wherein we are seeing like profit taking again in the global markets, domestic clues are also mixed, wherein the earning season is ongoing, and we are seeing mixed reaction accordingly. Indications are in the favor that this consolidation might extend at least for a couple of sessions more. On Monday, we are going to react to the key earning announcement of Reliance Industries, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank. So that will be a critical factor for the market. But seeing the tone that these all three stocks are continuing with, like ICICI, Reliance, and Kotak, all three are witnessing profit taking. It's not for like 1 week. In fact, for last several weeks, when it comes to these counters. So that will be critical. Plus, how the global markets end tonight is going to be an important factor. So as of now, indications are still mixed. We need a decisive close alongside with participation from other index majors also to strengthen this move. So as of now, the upside seems capped close to around 250 to 18,350. That remains the major hurdle for the index. 17,800 precisely, it's at 17,750 that Nifty have tested twice. So that should be the immediate support and key support, followed by 17,450. So as of now, the tone is slightly on the positive side, thanks to the stability in the banking pack, despite all odds. But how we are going to open on Monday, that is something is going to be critical factor to watch. So let's talk about the banking sector now. So in line with Nifty, you can see this candle, indecisive candle. It's not pure doji, but yes, it's kind of like similar, shows indecisiveness. So second consecutive week for the banking index too. Last week, if you remember, we discussed about like to regain some strength and to see some momentum back in the market in the banking pack, we need a close above 42,900. So forget about 42,900. We couldn't cross the first and immediate hurdle at 42,650. So that was the major concern that we have from the banking space also. And since we have important results scheduled over the weekend, and then on 23rd we have Axis Bank also. So let's see how this situation pans out, because today it was comparatively better. When the markets were inching lower, the banking kept the damage in today's session. But will this continue on Monday also? And will there be a possibility that, because as of now, we are seeing only HDFC Twins contributing to the gains or helping the markets to hold strong. The rest of the pack is still not participating. So that is something important, that how the other private banking majors participate in the next week is going to decide the trend. So for that, levels are intact, 42,650 to 42,900, that will continue to act as a resistance. A decisive close above 42,900 would definitely fuel further momentum in the banking index, and that would help the Nifty also to strengthen its position. On the downside, 41,600 to 41,300. This yellow line is basically 42,300. Below that, the tone is going to reverse, means that consolidation with a positive bias, it will change to a negative bias. So I hope it is clear. Now we'll talk about stock specific performance, wherein we are seeing positive trend or like positivity first. The first name comes to your screen is Persistent from the midcap ID space. So this stock post numbers have done exceptionally well, and otherwise also, if you see that there was hardly any correction in stock, in this entire period, it was a very narrow range consolidation that the stock was witnessing. And this week, almost 8% kind of gains. And look at the volumes. The volume bar is almost like, it has engulfed almost like 2-3 months kind of like, after 2-3 months, we are seeing this kind of volumes. So that clearly shows the kind of buying interest the participant has in this stock, and we expect this momentum to continue in the coming week as well. So this is the first stock that one can look at on the positive side. Next on the list is Siemens. So capital goods space also, kept the traders busy on the positive side. L&T, Siemens, ABB, and Siemens. The positive part is that it was hovering around the record highs. So you can see this consolidation band it was hovering in, and finally this week with noticeable rise in the volumes, we've seen a breakout in Siemens. So what we are anticipating is that it's likely to make a new record high soon, and it's likely to maintain this positive tone. So in case of any profit taking and consolidation, it will be comparatively better to stay in stock like this, wherein we are seeing excessive buying interest, and which is and they are like trading around the record highs as well. Now comes the weak stocks that we have. So I'm sure Asian Paints, because usually it's remain under traders market list, and but now from last several months we are seeing a decisive decline, and this week this pressure have increased substantially. Why? Because this trend line, the weekly trend line, it breached decisively, in fact in the last week itself, and this week we saw the follow-up move, and it also slipped below the short term, means medium term averages on the weekly charts around 100 EMA. So all indications are pointing towards this negative tone to continue, and a level close to around 2630 could be the area it might test. So avoid going aggressive long, especially when it comes to trading. In case if you have an investment, you can look for adding around the support areas close to around 2630, but not at the current levels. And last on the list we have Naukri. So InfoEdge, if you remember that a couple of weeks ago we have shared this stock because this breakdown was clearly visible, and we are seeing that stock is drifting gradually lower since then, and we expect this tone to continue at least in the near future. So despite the recovery that we are seeing in the IT pack, we have hardly seen any respite in Naukri, that is InfoEdge. So we believe that this tone is likely to continue, and this negative bias is here to stay. So any bounce, any rebound can be considered as shorting opportunity as long as it's holding below 4,000 mark. So yeah, just to sum it up, when it comes to Nifty and the banking index, the tone is still sideways. Important session on Monday because market is going to react to the key numbers. At the same time, how the global clues pans out over the weekend, that is something is also going to be critical. On the level front, we have to see whether Nifty manages to hold 18,100 mark decisively. Then we can see the progress towards 18,250 to 350. Downside, as long as we are holding 17,800, it is okay. That we are not seeing pressure in the market. That is something that we feel positive about. For banking, we need a close above 42,900 to change the trend. And since we have important earnings, how the banking index is going to perform on Monday, that is going to be critical. On downside, 41,600 to 300 will continue to act as a support. But the tone is going to reverse, means the tone is positive to negative below 41,600. So that is something that one should keep a close eye on. Now, on the stock specific front, we talked about Persistent and Siemens, which looks very strong to us, and Naukri and Asian Paints, which are the weak candidates. So this is all from the presentation part. Now we will do a quick poll, and then we can start with the Q&A session. So please quickly fill this feedback, and then we can start with the Q&A session. Please quickly fill this feedback, and then you can start posting your question using that Q&A tab on your screen. And please make sure that the questions are pertaining to the presentation that we have shared, like sector stocks that we have discussed about. No individual stock specific queries, please. Please quickly fill your feedback so that we can start with the session. Meanwhile, if you're done with the feedback, you can start posting your question using that Q&A tab. And there's no raise hand option available. So please put your question in the Q&A tab. All right, let's get started with the Q&A now. So the first question is from Mr. Bhargav on the index itself, that what will be the range. So that is what we've discussed, Mr. Bhargav, that we are eyeing 17,800 to 18,250 as the immediate range, and either side break will help the index to take the next direction move. So far, yes, 18,000 we can easily break. That's not a big deal. 17,800 is basically the area where we have multiple supports. Okay, next question. OnePlus Node. Please make sure that next time when you join the call, your display name is in the right format. So basically, banking index is comparatively, from the last couple of weeks, we are seeing underperformance. But of late, we expect that this underperformance might subside once we have participation from the private banking space. Since we are in the earnings season, we have to see how the earnings season is going to pan out. But positionally, as we have discussed, 42,900 is a critical level. Above that, we can see this positivity continuing in the banking index, returning in the banking index, and the tone is also going to be positive. In that case, we can see that banking index can again progress towards 44,500, 44,900 zone in the weeks to come. See, index view for the Feb series, for that, we'll have a webinar. Once we end this monthly expiry, post that monthly expiry, we do a webinar purely based on the derivative data, that how the rollover has panned out across sector, across indices, and that will give you a view for the entire Fab series. As of now, what we have shared is relevant for 1 week. See, for the index, we have already shared, Mr. Sri Harsha, that the tone is sideways, and the out of money positions in the index might not yield you the returns, especially on the buy side, or in fact on the sell side also, because the range is very narrow. So I would recommend that in case if you're sitting in the OTMs, it's prudent that you should exit, especially on the buy side. Monday, obviously, that the reaction on the key earning announcement is going to dictate the trend. In case if we manage to open above 18,100 levels, then there's a possibility that might inch further higher. But since you are extreme out of the money holding position OTM calls, it might not see the similar kind of attraction. So Pratima Singh have asked about the overall view on the markets, considering that from the last 1 year we are not seeing any decisive improvement when it comes to the gains in the index. So yes, you are right in a way, because 18,600 was a level that we were trading in last year, and we spent the entire year under the consolidation zone. We tried to retest and make a new record high, but again, we have started witnessing pressure, after the initial attempt. So, see, we are still in a comparatively better position, because if you look at the global markets, global indices, they were down and out in this entire period. So yes, we are seeing consolidation, but we are still comparatively stronger. So one should see relatively how our markets are performing. but it's not something that one should feel good about. Instead of seeing index, the ideal approach is to see the sector's performance, how the sector performance have panned out. So if you exclude IT and pharma, rest of the other sector they have done well. So one should not restrict themselves only to the index, unless you are an index investor or a trader purely. On the stock specific front, on the sector specific front, we have seen noticeable buying interest and participation. So my submission for this year also is to focus more on stock specific approach until we see the realignment of the global markets and our markets. So as of now, we are still not seeing that alignment when it comes to the overall market positioning. See, Mr. Sundaraj, as we have discussed about, index that we are expecting the range. Let the market open on Monday and see how this three earning announcement pans out: Reliance, ICICI Bank, Kotak, and then take your decision. If we fail to hold 18,100 level, then definitely one can look at creating bear spreads in the index, or something like shorting the call, naked calls also. So that we have to see how the markets open on Monday. Similarly, for banking index, Mr. Sir Patil, we have to see, because we have important earning announcements. So see why I'm saying this, to wait, because speculating based on some assumptions, like people, I've seen people trading based on the assumption that we are anticipating good result, bad result. See, market is not bound to react similar lines. In case if we are expecting good result, market might be expecting better than that. So your stock might not perform and your index might not perform in similar manner. So let the results unfold, and speculating based on only on the earning announcement, I feel it's like unwarranted risk that people usually take. So the idea is, when you are informed, when you see why I'm giving you this example of persistent system, because once you have the clarity that there is no surprises that you're going to see further post number, then it's become easy for you to take the position. And in case if you're just planning for the surprises alone, then it's not trading, it's speculation. So I strongly feel that one should not speculate with your hard-earned money. The idea behind trading is to minimize your risk and look for higher potential when it comes to trading positions. So as of now, indications are in the favor that we are sitting on a mixed platform. We need to see how the situation is going to pan out, and maybe we'll get the clarity once we open on Monday. So, Mr. Balaji, in fact, in the last webinar also we've discussed about the sector which is likely to benefit. So, infra, we have discussed about infra, and you can see that the kind of quantum that we are seeing in the metal and capital goods space, L&T, Siemens, they have performed exceptionally well. Then we have agri-related stocks which are trading mixed. So, I would say that one should not focus purely based on this, the budget outcome. As of now, in fact, what I have been observing in the market, we have not seen the kind of, if you exclude this capital goods sector, the rest of the other sector, they are playing muted. In fact, in the broader market also, we will hardly see any participation. So in such a restricted environment wherein we are seeing very limited stock, helping the index to inch higher, or, pushing the markets lower, it's prudent that one should focus more on saving their capital instead of taking riskier bets. So in a market like this, it's more important to let the market stabilize, give you some clarity, and then you should take bet. So based on the budget also, we have already seen decent up move in capital goods space. Siemens we have shared, which looks positive to us. So you may consider taking a position accordingly. Yes, so Mohan, Shaji have asked that, during the webinar, we've discussed about once we cross 18,100, we are likely to test not 400, 500, Mr. Shaji, it's 250 to 350 that we have shared. And we stick to that, statement, because 20 EMA was placed at 18,100. But in the last two trading session, the global market, the US market, basically that we closely follow. Earlier, we were not following it very closely because the global markets were up, but we were not participating in that similar manner. In the last two trading session, the US market have shed nearly 800 points, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and we are down just 1%. So I feel that still we are in a comparatively better position. We are not seeing, a decisive participation also. So that is also basically which kept the index to fail to hold above 18,100 mark. So that's why I'm saying that this consolidation, which we are seeing for the last 4 weeks, it might continue for a couple of more sessions. That we have to see how the Monday is going to pan out, and then we might have the next direction move. So as of now, the tone is still on the positive side as long as we are holding 17,800. But for the decisiveness, we definitely need a decisive close above rather on 18,100 mark. Okay, I guess we have answered most of the queries except like a couple of queries wherein there's stock specific questions. So yeah, with this we can end this session, and I guess the next session is going to be the rollover report. So till then, take care, and we're going to join the same time next week. Thank you.